What's up, world? In partnership with Impact, taking it global and the Shamandi Foundation, N'we Jinan is proud to present to you the Windcarriers Challenge. This 20-week social media campaign is calling on all Indigenous youth and people in our network to create artwork at home and submit them for a chance to win prizes, including our grand prize, a brand new MacBook Pro. Tune in every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on all our social media platforms for a chance to learn techniques from professional artists every week. We will also be featuring some of our students who will be sharing their skills and talking about their experiences working within our programs. So get your beats ready and get those canvases primed. Make sure your camera's in focus as we move through this difficult time. The Windcarriers Challenge, here to bring you good peace of mind.
What's good? What's good, everybody? How's everyone doing out there today? Hope everyone is feeling good on this beautiful Monday afternoon, Monday, May 18, 2020. Super excited to be here. Welcome, everybody, to the Windcarriers Challenge show. My name is David Hodges. I'm the co-executive director of N'we Jinan nonprofit organization, bringing artistic programming into Indigenous communities all over Turtle Island. We're super excited to just be here today. So for anyone that's at home that's watching with us, make sure that you are hitting that share button to share this out far and wide. We're just super excited to be able to share our platform today with everyone. And bringing on some amazing talent. We're going to hear from the youth of Sunchild First Nation. We have Montana, who's going to be coming on the show shortly, and we also have multidisciplinary professional artist living out in Winnipeg, Peter Thomas, who's going to be sharing some of his artistic process as well, and sharing that exclusive challenge that we basically set out every week with the Windcarriers Challenge. So for the people that are tuning in for the first time, what is the Windcarriers Challenge? Well, the Windcarriers Challenge essentially is this is our social media campaign that is being hosted on behalf of N'we Jinan, where we are doing a live kind of interactive show where we'll be instructing you, the audience at home, to create and submit artistic works for a chance to win prizes every week. While we are doing that, we are also kind of trying to mix up the show with special guests to kind of just have a conversation and to also bring some inspirational entertainment as well. And so we're super excited to be doing that. But the overall purpose, though, is to engage all of the youth that are working within that have connected to our programs this year and from previous years, just to engage them with creative activities during this time of social distancing. We know that a lot of kids are not going to be returning back to school for the remainder of the school year leading into the summer. And so as an organization, doing a lot of artistic programming, we want to be able to on the weekly basis give you guys some creative activities to do at home, and then also bringing on the artists to explain what those activities are, and also giving away prizes. That's what we're basically doing today. And we actually have our first prize giveaway that we're going to be giving away today. The last week's challenge essentially was to plug our Facebook and Instagram pages and promote the posters for the Windcarriers Challenge. And so for the people that still have not yet really connected to what we do, we are still asking, and we just want you to be able to share some of the promotional items, because the more people that know about this, the more people out there have something fun and engaging to do at home, artistic stuff specifically. So make sure that you go give our Facebook pages a like. Right now, we're going live on all the pages on the N'we Jinan and also the N'we Jinan Arts program page, but also give us a like on our Instagram pages as well, N'we Jinan TV, N'we Jinan Arts. And anytime you do post anything related to the Windcarriers Challenge, you got to make sure you hashtag that Windcarriers Challenge hashtag in order to actually submit some artistic works. We will get more into that later, but we do want to announce the first official winner for the draw. We're super excited. We can't do a live one because that would be just a little too complicated. Maybe we might figure it out for next week. But we did a draw behind the scenes before. We had about 16 submissions for the challenge last week, and so the winner of last week's prize is Gavin Wienisk. So Gavin Wienisk, we're gonna reach out to you following the show. Gavin, you've won $100 gift card to either Walmart, Tim Hortons, EB Games, kind of like at your, it's a personal choice depending on where you're shopping these days. So you get $100 for that. And then also N'we Jinan merchandise prize pack. So it's like t-shirt, bunch of stuff, t-shirt, like things like this, like a water bottle. We got a bunch of things to give you. So we're pretty excited about that. Congratulations, Gavin. We'll be getting in touch with you at the end of the show. So this week, what is our prize pack to be won? Maybe we'll get into that when Peter's on, so that you guys will stick around a little bit, and yeah, that'll be super awesome. So we won't get into that right now. What we're gonna actually get into is the song of the week. So we're super excited. For the people that are unaware, every week we're essentially going to be playing a new song, bringing on a youth that have participated in our mobile production studio program to talk a little bit about the process. And so the song that we're going to be featuring today is called it's called No Longer Broken. This is actually a picture of the group from Sunchild First Nation out in Treaty 6, Alberta, near Rocky Mountain House. And so we're really excited that we have one of the youth today that are going to be coming on and sharing their kind of story and process. The song that they created is called No Longer Broken, and it's actually also featured on the Windcarriers album. So that's another thing too, that some people, we're doing the Windcarriers challenge every week. Why the Windcarriers? Well, it is also the title of our latest Volume 8 N'we Jinan compilation that will be available on all digital platforms as of May 22nd. So it's going to be coming out later on this week. We're super excited about that. But what we're going to do next is that we're going to bring in this song called No Longer Broken. Please enjoy it. We're pretty excited to
Mothers carry and mothers cry. Ancestors pray for hope, their love will not die. Hate can be heard like lies, but our souls won't be torn this time. Be my rose, I'll be your violet. I hope you know that you helped me through all of it. Memories, I can't express what you meant to me. Sometimes I forget, but your love's never lost. Your strength lives on in me. Family, they said forever, now a memory. Sometimes there's darkness, but this candle in my hand is yours. Together we will find the light.
I'm weak at the knees, filled with anxiety. With you I can breathe, this is all I need. It happened so suddenly, now your love is covering me. Everything with you is better.
The love I have for you is impossible to hide. Sleeping with dreams that we won't try, cause we can't. You were disloyal and I couldn't pretend. So much joy has come to an end. My eyes are tired, but love is strong. Maybe I had to leave you all alone.
Show us hope, this love will never end. We can cope through all this thick and thin. Pushing forward, growing stronger. Moving on, we are no longer broken.
I feel like a ghost in need of a soul. I breathe in the smoke to give me a flow. I needed you to cope. I don't want the light, I can't stand the hell. Don't give me false hope, I can tell. I need you to let me cope. I probably need to let you go.
I'm worried, everything I see is falling apart. Negativity is making it hard. It's contagious, breaking us apart. But despite that, I turn to the people that fill my heart. Humor and happiness, culture that we live, my friends and family, my source, my sanity.
What's up with all the line lapping short, so why are we fighting? All these memories in my head, they are piling. I feel neglect, regret, I even try to forget. What do you expect? Give your hate a rest. We all know it's for the best. Gotta move forward past the pain. My ancestors' blood runs through my veins. Sometimes I feel insane, like I can't stay in my own lane, swerving in the rain. But if you got nothing to lose, you still got something to gain.
It's hard to see my people depleting and fleeting, innocent lives feeling so defeated. I'm scared for my future, I'm scared for the youth. I'm terrified of the hidden truth in our nation. My ancestors fought for salvation.
N'we Jinan.
Show us hope, this love will never end. We can cope through all this thick and thin. Pushing forward, growing stronger. Moving on, we are no longer broken.
I wanna be worth it, worth it. I wanna be worth it, worth it. I know that I'm worth it, worth it. I wanna be worth it, worth it. I wanna be worth it, worth it. I know that I'm worth it, worth it. I wanna be worthy, I'm worthy, broken. I wanna be worthy, I'm worthy, broken. I know that I'm worthy, broken.
There it is. No longer broken. Sunshot First Nation, Alberta. That's unbelievable. When I saw that video for the first time, I literally teared up. Like, it's just such like a beautiful piece of work. It's a piece of art. Like, just listening to the messages and the kind of build up. Man, it's just an unbelievable message. I'm super excited and happy also today to be bringing on a youth that did go work through the process. Before I bring Montana on, just a major shout out to the producers behind that project who went out the Mobile Production Studio program this year, Milan Andre and Nicholas Gouin. I know that you're, I see that you're both watching right now, so want to give a major shout out to them for working with the youth as well on this incredible project. And so we are going to bring on super young talent, but like super eager, like just, also nervous at the same time to come on. But at the same time, we do this show because we want to platform and amplify Indigenous youth voice. I'll bring them out here. Here's a little picture here of Montana in the process. I love this picture because it kind of shows what the beginning process is for a lot of them. And like, it's a huge opportunity because it's like, these opportunities to showcase voice don't always come around too often. And so I'm just really excited to be able to bring Montana from Sunshot First Nation. So we're going to bring her onto the show right now. And also I encourage anyone that has any kind of comments or questions as well. Feel free to send them through the Facebook because we can also share those. We can share them live as well here with Montana as she comes onto the show. So without further ado, everyone give it up here for Montana. Good running. Let's bring her on. There she is. How you doing today, Montana?
Okay.
How are you doing? You're doing well.
Yes.
You finished that ginger ale right there? Are you still working on it?
One.
Oh, you're on number 2? Dang, yo, dang. Yo. So we're super excited to have you on the show today, coming from all the way from Sunchild First Nation, Alberta. Maybe you want to introduce yourself, maybe your age and where you're from, and maybe your Indigenous background as well.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Montana Goodwinning. I'm 15 and I helped I was in the song and in the music video of No Longer Broken, which was produced by Milan and recorded by Nick.
That's right. That's right. Featuring all the incredible youth of Sunchild First Nation. Unfortunately, I haven't really been in touch with almost any of the group though. But just through the video, even you, I just met you today for the first time, face to face. But even by watching the video, just feeling that impact, I already feel like I kind of know you just listening to some of the lyrics and seeing a bit of your acting skills in the video. And so we're really just excited to have you on the show today. Maybe ask you a few questions. But before we start, maybe talk about your medallion there. What's that on your medallion that you're rocking?
This is the Sunchild logo and also the Sunchild School logo. I got it for my 15th birthday. Was last year. It was gifted to me by my my sister-in-law, Noreen Ochis. Just kidding. But it's very special to me.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous.
That's okay though. You're doing great though. You're gonna get into it. Trust me. It's just we're just having a little conversation. There's people that are already sending a few comments to you right now. We got Nicholas Gouin already dropping a comment. You can see it there. Yay, Montana, the superstar. We also have Monroe Jeffrey. Good job, Montana. So people are on your side. You know what I mean? So no worries, no worries. Yeah. So let's actually talk about this music video, No Longer Broken. People saw it here for the first time, and you can always go and watch it again on YouTube. But maybe explain to us a little bit about the messaging behind No Longer Broken.
The message in No Longer Broken.
Yeah, what was the? Go ahead.
Everyone in the music video and everyone who wrote lyrics for the music video, they all have their own stories and backgrounds towards the music video, but Milan also helped put it all together so we can all sound and make one story. And Nick also helped. He helped with the backstory of the music video. So we wanted to base it off of missing and murdered Indigenous women, which is also a reason why Lily is wearing red in the music video.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically talked about how she goes into the forest, or she just wants to end it all, and then she falls asleep in the forest and she's gone for a long period, and everyone oh my god, where is she, and we're writing missing posters about her, posting it everywhere, asking people if they've seen her, and then comes back and it's all
that's it. And even
right here.
Yeah, that's it. You're seeing some of that in the video, her going missing and then everyone looking for her. And actually there's something that you wrote, a synopsis that you wrote on your social media. If you don't mind me reading it, it actually puts a new perspective on the video that I never, when I watched it for the first time, I didn't look at it this way. But then after I read this, I was like, oh wow, that's super epic. So essentially, as you wrote here, it says Riley is so numb to the point where she doesn't want to be around. So she runs away and sits in the forest and accidentally falls asleep. During her sleep, she sees what'll happen without her, how everyone will miss her. She goes back home and celebrates her living. She's happy even though loving herself might be a losing game. Ooh, some epic words there, Montana. Woo! That's crazy though. But talk about that that process. Do you feel a lot of youth on reserve feel that way sometimes, where they feel no one's gonna miss me, or no one really knows what will happen when I'm gone, but what are the effects that I actually what are those effects, you know what I mean? So maybe talk a little bit about that.
I can't really speak for everyone on my reserve, but I can speak for myself when I could say actually that I went through a time where I didn't want to be around, and that I didn't want to do or be on where I am now. So, but I helped push myself through it, and I had the comfort of my family and my friends that also helped me become how I am right now and how I am coming towards getting older. I'm turning 16 this year, and I just I'm not in that bad place anymore.
And do you feel like having that kind of support though has helped change you and shape you who you are? Like having the support of people around you, like having the support of like, you know, your friends, your family, has that like helped, like, is it helped you become the person that you are today?
Yeah, pretty much with my family and how I'm growing up, how I'm being raised with my dad and my mom, and with all my friends around me, going to all these culture gatherings, becoming more of a young human being. It has helped shape who I am today and is helping me get stronger towards getting older and going towards real life.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. There's another part in the video here at the end where you see like a round dance, and you know, a lot of our not all of our audience is Indigenous, so we have a lot of non-Indigenous folk watching at home. So can you explain a little bit about what a round dance is? It comes here, there you are at the end. So yeah, explain a little bit about what a round dance is.
Explain a little bit about what a round dance is. Well, it's more of a culture gathering where you can have your friends and family that you haven't seen in a while come and see you. Like a couple of months ago, before this whole COVID-19 happened, I went to this place called Little Pine, and I seen my grandmother and my aunties that I haven't seen in a couple of years, and it was just a fun night overall. I love going to culture gatherings with these round dances. You basically dance in a circle around drummers. You can backup sing, and it's really fun.
That's awesome.
And it also depends on what kind of round dance you're going to. It could be a memorial round dance, a reunion round dance, a birthday round dance. And it's pretty much more so for people like me. I'm Plains Cree, but there's also Blackfoots, Navajo, Swampy Crees, Woodland Crees, all those other ones, and Sotos, stuff like that.
That's it. So it's practiced among different First Nations and different Native Americans as well, the Navajo Nation. And so definitely appreciate you sharing some of that knowledge with us. Even like taking it back to the video just a little bit, like what was the process like? Because I know a lot of people, it's like their first time kind of doing it. I showed that picture of you recording yourself for the first time. Like maybe talk to us a little bit about what that process was like for you.
When I first signed up for the music and production of it, I was really excited because I thought we were all making our own music or songs or our own music videos. But then once I saw that we were all picking or being in one, I was more excited because I wasn't really friends with everybody that was in the music video, but the music video and the production, it all helped me come to how it is right now. And even though when we were producing it and making this backstory to the music video, we had a couple arguments, it was all okay in the end because of how it came out, and I love how it came out. With the recording of the song, we listened to a couple backtracks, and we thought that one was the right one to pick because of the feelings it gave us. And we all have our own stories behind it, but my story behind mine was what I said, I feel like a ghost in need of a soul. I meant that because I had a friend a couple of years ago, back in 2018, and we were really close, and he ended up committing suicide. And it all happened from there, and that's when I started going through a hard time with my grades, my family, and I just didn't want to do anything with it. And then I just had the help of my mom, the help of my dad, the help of all my friends I have now, and I just pushed myself to go through it, and I'm here now, back in 2020. But that's the reason behind my I feel like a ghost in need of a soul.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Montana, because you know that there's like, you know, people that are watching and just people in general that are that can relate to what you're saying. You know, we all have lost like people, or we all like are working through those emotions, and to hear that, like, you know, you did give up at first, you know what I mean? You didn't give up, but you like lost hope, and it took you a little while to get yourself back, but with the support of your family and, like, you know, like you were able to bounce back. And I'm happy that at least through this project, we were able to like bring some of that to the surface, and hopefully that's good medicine for sure. Like, and I feel like those lines, like even when I heard that line, because the buildup of the video, kind of like there's not much of a beat, but there's like it builds up the story, and you're like, oh, and then we are no longer broken, and then the beat comes in, and then you're there. That first line, like it just hit me so hard. I was like, yo, like it put me on like another connection level. It was just such a strong sense of like what you were saying, and so I do thank you for sharing that good medicine with the people for sure. Super important. So maybe like another question I wanted to ask you a little bit, like this wasn't, because we were talking a little bit before, but you were saying that this wasn't necessarily like your first time doing something like this, like acting a bit, like you've kind of gone in a little bit into acting. Maybe talk a little bit about your artistic interests, and yeah, like I'd like to get to know a little bit more about that.
Well, then I have been into missing and murdered Indigenous women for a long time, and I've like done research on it. I've done a couple papers on it for school. And when I paint sometimes, so I painted something for missing and murdered Indigenous women, and I have it hanging in my room right now. And it's pretty much a love of mine that helped me go through what I went through and helped get my mind off other things. I keep looking outside, it's okay, but with everything that's like going on with all the missing and murdered Indigenous women going missing and all people being murdered and everything like that, I think that the music video is a place or something that could help us get across it, because red is also a symbolism for missing and murdered Indigenous women, and that is probably one of the things that I like about it. And with the arts as well, my dad was like a couple of years ago, he was like, well, let's go audition for this thing, and we ended up going to, I think it was Calgary, and we went go audition for this thing. They had us dress up in this costume, and they had us act a little bit, and I was just like, wow, this is really nice. And before I knew what I wanted to be an actor or a singer, but now I just want to get into business and all that.
That's amazing. Well, it sounds you got a lot, like you got a lot of aspirations, a lot of figuring out to do, but I mean, you got lots of, sounds like when you kind of know what you want to do, that means it's just more options for you, you know? So that sounds, and these things go hand in hand. Art and business, believe it or not, they do go hand in hand. And so that's really awesome. And that's kind of like what this challenge, the Windcarriers show is really like a place to like talk about all these things, because there's so many artists out there. There's so many young kids at home also that have artistic ambition and skills, and it's kind of like understanding how, like, you know, by putting yourself out there a little bit more, it's like those stepping stones to figuring it out, you know, like even you doing the show, like when I contacted you to do it, you were like tripping out and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it or whatever. And it's like, but then it's at the same time, you're still stepping up and doing it, and you're learning from that process as well. You know what I mean? So sometimes stepping out of your comfort zone, it's a good thing. We have some people sending in some comments to us right now, Montana, to you. So Monroe Jeffrey saying, thanks for dealing with these life and death issues. You are exhibiting a very positive and growing attitude. Or he says altitude, but I'm not mad at that either. Altitude's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool word to throw in there. Altitude or attitude is all good. We also have Milan Andre, who's dropping in a little comment right now saying, yes, Montana. So Milan is also watching at home. We're super excited to have you on the show here. So maybe I'm gonna ask you one last question before we kind of like end the conversation between me and you. But I wanted to end on a different note where because the Windcarriers challenge, the Windcarriers ultimate theme is we have this one guiding question, and so we're going to be asking all the youth on the show that come on. We're going to be asking them this question. I already asked this to you, so you had some time to think about it. But so the question for you that I leave you with, Montana, is what message or teaching of your ancestors do you carry on, or do you carry with you?
My ancestors is to probably keep my culture going. With I'm speaking Cree and Soto. I'm both learning both with my parents, and I speak a couple here and there. Right now, I only know like swear words because it's what I hear mostly. And
That's all right. That's all right.
But like more so getting my culture further than how I am or how it is now, because of residential schools, and we lost our culture. Pretty much we lost most of our teachings and traditions, but we're slowly getting them back and slowly coming back to how we used to be, even if we don't live in what people think are igloos or teepees, which are basically myths. And what I'm carrying from my ancestors is probably the teachings that they bring me and the teachings that I come to learn from them, and just my culture and everything that I am learning from my parents and from my grandparents, and the stories that I'm being learned in all these culture gatherings. And yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for passing on that message, Montana. You have a great spirit, and I'm super happy that we were able to do this today. And yeah, I hope to be able to connect with you soon. I'm pretty sure that N'we Jinan will be coming back to Sunshine First Nation next year. So we're super excited that we'll be able to bring something back and continue building that relationship with your community. But it was really nice to connect with you, Montana. And just yeah, just I guess, is there anything that you want to like say to the people, or any shout outs you want to give? Maybe there's somebody at home watching that you want to say what's up to.
Yes, I do. Stan BTS, stream on, and stream Boy with Love.
Cheers! Yes. All right, Montana. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye. So everyone, that was Montana Good Running, doing an exceptional job there. That was their first live interview, and I'm pretty sure that won't be the last one that we'll see. The last one we'll see of her doing some incredible stuff. Send in your comments. If you want to reach out to Montana, we'll ensure that she gets it. So we are gonna continue the show right now. We're gonna move it into a different direction right now. We're gonna go more into some quick announcements. We're really excited. We actually have a really exciting announcement for everyone today, especially for people that are at home that are tuning into the Windcarriers show, that are looking for things to do at home. One of the really cool things that we actually did. So this what's it called? This what are we doing here? This initiative that we're running, the Windcarriers Challenge, is essentially these are some of our sponsors, powered by Impact. So Impact is essentially our organization where that actually supports all of our N'we Jinan programs. It's also where we work with we have our staff. This is where we work with our artists. So we have our artist roster. We train and we support throughout the year. We do our program development through that. What's really cool with what Impact has also done this year, well, not even this year, in the last month, literally as a response to COVID, is that we started bringing things online. We started creating digital resources because we have like these incredible artists, right, that have worked with us this year. So this is what our artist roster looked like this year. We work within all artistic disciplines. And so what we essentially did is that our educational team supported a group of our artists to start creating YouTube tutorial videos so that people at home could actually know the process behind the how to create art in all artistic disciplines. And so we wanted to be a responsive organization to everything that's happening with COVID. And so we've actually launched done a soft launch of our Impact YouTube tutorial page here. So it's essentially live right now. We're really excited about it. I'm just going to kind of take you through it. So Impact Connecting Through Creativity. On this page, you can see all of the different tutorials that are currently available. We just started doing this literally started a month ago. And Our team has been working super hard at this as well with our artists, and we're really excited about this. And so as you can see on the page, we have the artistic forms like printmaking. So if anyone's out there that's interested in printmaking at home, we have tutorials here with Chris Robertson, one of our artists. And we have acting and writing tutorials here with Cheyenne Scott. We have spray painting tutorials, making stencils here with Peter Thomas. Then we have our photography tutorials with Steve Haining, learn how to take sick pics right there. And then we have beading tutorials with Cedar Eve. So if you're into beading and you want to kind of get the the background on like how to go through that whole process, we got beading tutorials here. And we got Logic Pro here with Isla Barker. So it's like for all you audio heads out there that want to kind of just learn the basics of setting up a home studio, writing, recording. And then we have poetry tutorials as well for some spoken word artists at home with Spin El Poeta. And so this is like a soft launch that we're essentially doing right now. But if you are at home and you want to kind of just learn a little bit more about these processes, this is what we're essentially connecting with our Windcarriers challenge, is that we're also connecting it to the artists that we're bringing on the show. We're going to send you a challenge, but then at the same time, we want to be able to connect it to what's on this YouTube page as a digital resource, so you can actually like go through it. But this is like really cool. So we are going to drop the link in our comment. I'll actually drop it right now.
And unfortunately,
but it kind of brings you through the process of like, the whole process, right? Like even myself, I'm a music producer. I'm not necessarily a visual artist, but watching through all of these videos, I feel like I could probably do this. You know what I mean? So that's what the process is, kind of break it down, make it super simple and accessible for anyone that's at home, or even if you're at school as well. So we're just really overall excited about this digital resource. And so what's really exciting about this too is that it connects to the artists that we're going to be bringing on to the show. Today, Peter Thomas. Peter Thomas also was one of our video editors for these videos here, and so for all of these videos on our YouTube page. And so we're pretty excited to bring him on to the show. So make sure I'm going to drop the link actually right now into the Facebook. So if you're on our Facebook page right now. It's actually been dropped there. So for free artistic tutorials with our artist visit, that's the YouTube page right there. So make sure that you guys can all check. You guys are gonna check that out if you want to kind of get into the YouTube tutorials. And so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna move into the artist segment right now. I'm gonna actually play a video here of our guest. And hope you guys all enjoyed this.
Girls, tell me where you at. It doesn't really matter if you're thin or fat. If he loves you, even though your booty's flat, put your hands in the sky, girl, holla back and say, oh yeah. Say that's right. Say oh yeah. Say that's right. Like I'm round, brown, and greasy, like my fried bread and pan. Indigenous girl, she be rocking my world in cars and widespread panic chaos. My neck covered in tattoos, her neck covered in neckies when I'm through. Heard she got a couple kids, oh yeah, that's true. Great now, baby daddy wanna fight me too. That's cool, I'm calm, baby, you're the bomb. Got a skull and head dress tatted on my arm. I think she likes me, wanna be my wifey. Look at this medallion that she reading for me. Breakfast in bed, she my Eggo waffles. Lunch at her mama's house, Indian tacos. She my Pocahontas, I'm a native Picasso. I'll be waiting at the powwow, checking my iPhone like I'm with my boys and we can come and kick it right now.
I'll bring my girls and you can meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Say oh yeah. Say that's right.
That's right.
I'm with my boys and we can come and kick it right now.
I'll bring my girls and you can meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Say oh yeah. Say
day is done. Now we looking like the motherfucking Brady Bunch. Take my children to they aunt so I can party till I feel like the native Beyonce. Tonight I'ma rock my socks off, rock my moms and they not the knockoff. Shorts are cut off, watch me walk off, hotter than the chili beans inside your crock pot. Oh my God, yes I'm deadly. Edmonton to LA, ho I'm Gretzky. Pink cheetah patterns on my bed sheets. Rap game playing Queen Priscilla Presley. Baby, when you get here, tweet me. Hope I see you around a red entry. I still got my pager, beat me. 143, I'm at the powwow, baby.
I'm with my boys and we can come and kick it right now.
I'll grab my girls and you can meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Say oh yeah, say that's right. I'm with my boys and we can come and kick it right now.
I'll grab my girls and you can meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Say oh yeah, say that's right. I can put you in the TV. Somewhere in Waikiki. Yo, I can stick an air mattress all up in that bitch so we can get freaky. I can put you in the sweat lodge. Somewhere in Las Vegas. We're following the powwow roads and let's go wherever it takes us. Yeah. Sup, baby girl, my name is Cloud. Do me a favor, sexy, shut your mouth. Recognize a real dime when you see one. Saved by the bell, rock you ladies neon.
Ooh, baby boy, I like your style. I love your rap, I ain't got to smile. I think I'm gonna beat you something.
I think I'm gonna raise your offspring. I'm with my boys and we can come and kick it right now.
I'll grab my girls and you can meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm with my boys and we can come and kick it right now.
I'll grab my girls and you can meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Meet me at the powwow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Sorry, just trying to add myself back in. So there it is, man. Peter Thomas, sweet little video there. We're going to be bringing him on. Just before I do, just want to introduce him properly and formally here. So Peter Thomas is a Swampy Cree Ojibwe multidisciplinary artist from Cross Lake, Manitoba. Raised on the res, currently living in Winnipeg as a full-time artist, entrepreneur, youth workshop facilitator, and an overall deadly guy. So that's my little thing, man. Peter's one of my favorite dudes, so I'm super excited to bring him onto the show with us today. So everyone give it up for Peter Thomas.
That's the sound of people. I'm just joking.
I know. I should probably insert some like little extra sound effects like that, you know? I feel like that's what it's calling for, so I feel like I should be doing that, eh?
Just have like a little like NPC with sounds ready to go or something.
Yeah, that's it. That's the next step, you know? I'm
Yeah.
trying to integrate something new every show, so I think that'll be my challenge for the week. So next week, hopefully I'll be able to do that and see if I get your approval, Peter. But I appreciate you being on the show today with us. We're super excited for you to be kind of like you're the first artist that's going to be talking about the first artistic challenge. But before we get to any of that, maybe introduce yourself and we'll get into it.
Cool. A little bit about myself. Yeah, so I grew up in northern Manitoba, Pimicikamak Cree Nation. Cross Lake is the band, the reserve band name. But I grew up there majority of my youth, and then a little bit on my mother's reserve also, which is called Bloodvein, which is also northern Manitoba. Moved to the city for school pretty much, grade 8 right through high school, graduated and been here since. But basically, I was a carpenter for 10 years. And right out of high school, literally 4 days after high school, I thought it was just going to be a summer job. I did have experience working with wood and carpentry and things like that, just from watching my dad and my uncles, and they were all carpenters. They had like wood nails, and so we'd make tree houses and whatnot. And then high school too, I did woods as well. So basically jumped right into that right out of high school and ended up doing it for the next 10 years. There was a couple years in between there where I tried something else, but I always was a carpenter on the side when I was doing other things. And I was always building, always making stuff. And then, yeah, 4 years ago, I kind of like put that aside. I wanted to do the full-time artist thing. I figured I know enough people, I have enough clientele where I can do something full-time, not just with art, but with graphic design and videography. And facilitating was a big one. That was the number one factor in why I changed what I wanted to do, was do the youth programming, and kind of just share my story, my experience, my skill set, things like that.
That's amazing. And do you feel like that you basically took us on a whole journey there, but do you feel like working with young people has kind of changed your artistic process and practice a bit?
Yeah, big time, big time. You know, I wanted to try to make, I want as best as I could to try to make this place, you know, being Mother Earth and our surroundings and communities better. And the only way we can do that is, well, maybe not the only, but the major way we can do that is through the Indigenous youth, right? They are our future. You know, I wish I had someone, you know, who encouraged me as a young person to try to do better. I didn't have that role model and someone to look up to when I was growing up. Positive role models, I should say. But yeah, it's been great working with youth. Every time I do, I learn something new. Whether that's like, you know, an idea for, you know, color combinations or, you know, a whole project. Just when I introduce my forms of art, whatever I'm instructing, a lot of them, they haven't experienced or have experience doing these types of works, and they kind of just like jump into what I'm teaching them, and they take it on their own and they do it their own way, they mold it their own way. And it's that mindset of like, you know, just going to do it and not think about it, right? As we get older, as I get older, I'm kind of thinking like, you know, I kind of want things to be a certain way, and it's starting to get more and more like that as I get older, which I don't want it to be. So, you know, it's a constant reminder, you know, when I work with youth to kind of just, you know, just go with it, go with the flow, form whatever happens with what I'm making or painting.
That's it. But if you think about it, like, you've embodied that whole mentality of just kind of going with the flow, because like you wouldn't be where you are today if you kind of didn't follow your intuition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of like you learn as you go, but then it's like when you feel like you've learned enough to kind of like do something to respond to what you're learning, then it kind of shifts overall what you're doing. It got to where you are today, and I'm really excited to have you here with us today, Peter. Because like, you know, I'm even looking behind you and I see a lot of really interesting things. So like, maybe explain to the people at home, like, because you're in Winnipeg right now at your studio. Maybe talk a little bit about your shop and like the things that you got going on in there.
Yeah, so this is a fairly newer space. It's not new, but you know, I haven't been here, and the whole COVID thing, so everyone kind of had to, you know, self-isolate. So we're really starting to working on our own space here. We do have like a venue space out in the front, but the back half is we have it split up in 2 sections. So this is my work area, and this is where I do my, you know, my office stuff. You know, I got some toys over here, some figures. It's kind of like a nerd thing I like to do. But everyone here has their space, but we're also getting some shirt printing machines, things like that, vinyl cutters. We started getting the ball rolling on that finally. So we're just, you know, finally getting our space ready for that. And yeah, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, you know, with everything kind of shutting down, because now we have the time and you know, we know we're going to be chilling for, you know, 2-3 months, whatever, to kind of, you know, start getting things. Yeah,
that's it. To kind of like spend the time to organize, you know, and reflect on like what we got and like how can we be like of a service or like a resource to other people. So I definitely hear you on the screen printing thing, because printing is going to be a huge thing right now. I could tell you that, man. So but even like to bring it back a little bit to the video, because in the Meet Me at the Powwow video that you directed, I'm assuming you directed and edited that, correct?
Correct.
Somebody asked actually about that song. So Kyla Edwards. Shout out to Kyla Where's she from? From Ashcroft. That's right, from Ashcroft, BC. She was asked if that was a good song. So it's called "Meet Me at the Powwow." That song, right? With I believe it's Lightning Cloud and Leonard Sumner on that song, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so that's a great song. So if you guys want to check it out, "Meet Me at the Powwow" is a great song for that. But even breaking it in back into that video real quick, because I see a skateboard behind you, so I'm assuming I'm connecting a lot of dots here. I'm assuming that you also, because you're a carpenter, so you kind of like you make your own boards and your own designs. And you did there's a famous picture, man, at the N'we Jinan festival that we had last year. The kick flip on the red carpet. That was a big move right there. Maybe talk to us a little bit about like how skateboarding has also like been part of your life as well.
Yeah. So when I lived on reserve, I used to play a lot of sports, hockey being one of them. I loved it. I loved like the physicality, the challenge of it, and working with teammates and things like that. Moving to the city, lost that team connection, and it was a little bit difficult moving to the city because, one, I didn't know anybody. Two, it was a different time, right? This is like 1999, 2000. So, there was a lot of like, homophobic responses and, just a whole different time, a lot of racism that was like openly racist, whether it's jokingly or not. Racism being a first one, prejudice, it was one thing I faced a lot moving to the city, and especially high school. And a lot of the ones who were prejudiced towards me, they were the hockey players. I have nothing against hockey players or anyone in general, but that's just how it was. And so it turned me away from wanting to play hockey. Next thing you know, I'm going to Blockbuster. There's this game that just popped up, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I picked it up. I finished the game and you get to watch the videos after. And I was like, man, these tricks are real and this stuff's insane. Like how can you do this? And then I showed my friend and he lives down the street. And he's like, I have an extra skateboard you can have. And I was like, wow. And I tried to jump on it and, it's giving me goosebumps right now. I jumped on it and I was like, man, this is like really hard. Like just to stand on it, let alone push and like roll. And it's like, how is this possible? Right. Super challenging, but it also worked for me because I could do it alone, myself on a sidewalk. Eventually I made friends. And eventually I just fell in love with it and the challenge of it. And believe it or not, skateboarding taught me a lot more than any person has at that time, right? Because I didn't have that father figure. I didn't have that mentor. I didn't have somebody, that's teaching me the ways, to be a young man in the world. So skateboarding taught me a lot. It taught me patience, taught me, persistence, trying, falling up, getting up, trying again. Put your mind to something, you can do it. And then it just, through skateboarding, got all these connections, right? I met friends who are artists, friends who do other things, who I'm still friends with today. And, some of us still skateboard, myself, I never slowed down. So it's been a huge part of my life. And, it's past that point now where I'm like skateboarding most of my life. So,
yeah. That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that story. Even shouting out to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Shout out to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. I know that shaped a lot of like young video gamers' lives and like just the camaraderie, the community that surrounds that game. And as we all know, or not everyone knows this, but they are going to be putting out a remastered version of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 on all the consoles. I'm personally super excited about that. Who is your player on Tony Hawk Skater? Like, who would you choose typically?
This guy right here, let me show you. I'll prop it up here. So this here is, I don't know why I liked him. I think it was because his tricks weren't super technical. He wasn't like kind of like a showboater. He just did his tricks and he did them nice. And I also like the clothes that he wore on Pro Skater. But this is Steve Caballero. This is actually a signed skateboard by Steve Caballero from 2001. Yeah, there's a skate shop here, Skates, and they had it up in their shop. And I remember the year I started skateboarding that they had it up in their shop. Then I was like, wow, I was like, that's like the holy grail to me, right? And then the previous owner of the shop posted it that he was having it some boards for sale, and I saw that, and I jumped on that. Like,
wow, bro, that's crazy, man. Mine was Chad Muska, the 5-0 thumping, man. That was like my favorite special. I would just do that nonstop, bro. I just feel like such a G, like just grinding away with the boombox. It was crazy. So yeah, keeping on schedule here. We got to kind of move forward. So I just want to ask you that final question before we move into the artistic challenge. But because we had Montana on before, we always asking the youth about, like, you know, what message you're teaching of their ancestors do they carry with them. I think as artists, a lot of the times that are working with youth, we don't always get a chance to really share the kind of impact that young people have on us as well, how it shapes our practice or shapes the way we think or the way we kind of move. And so the question I wanted to ask you, Peter, is just what message, you know, working within our programs or the programming you've done with youth, what message or teaching from the youth do you carry with you?
It's to kind of just take things as they come. You know, when it comes to like culture and tradition, like your last guest was saying there, you know, she was awesome, good running. She mentioned like culture and things like that and how they were lost in tradition. And myself, you know, as a Cree person, a lot of that was lost. And we were some of the first to lose it, you know, because of the Hudson's Bay and the colonization moving downwards, right? So a lot of Cree teachings are lost, and, you know, it's up to us to kind of piece it together, right? Myself including. So what she was saying, like the way I like to try to think of it is like, we may not get back the way exactly that they did it, but we can piece together ways that feel good and make sense to us, and then kind of form, I don't want to say our own way, but a way that works and makes sense to us as a new generation of ancestors for, you know, future generations, you know, 100, 200, 300 years down the line, right? They're gonna be even more lost. So it's up to us to kind of uphold that. So, you know, in the sense of like, you know, the youth kind of grabbing something they're not so sure of, but they're going with their feeling and you know, what they like, what feels good to them. It's the same way with I think with our culture.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Peter. I appreciate that. And I feel like that sentiment was definitely echoed in the what Montana was saying. I think we're gonna move it into the challenge of the week here. Get into the art. Let's get into some art stuff right now. But before we do, I do want to kind of talk about the prize pack to be won with a special announcement too for new sponsorship that we actually have here for the Windcarriers challenge. So our new sponsor that we actually secured is Vans. So we're kind of keeping it connected to the skateboarding culture here, which is super awesome, and we're very excited about that. Oh, you got a new pair right there.
Yep.
Check this out. I got this, actually my wife's new pair here, just like some classic whites, you know, for the summertime.
Nice.
So we're super excited for the prize pack. It's so the prize pack this for this week's challenge, because we're gonna get more into artistic practice. We want to kind of beef up the prize a little bit, you know what I mean? Because we do want more engagement. We want people to kind of take on this challenge and have their own kind of twist to it. But so for this week's prize pack to be won, it's a $100 gift card, again, to either, you know, Walmart, Amazon, EB Games, Tim Hortons, whatever you kind of desire. You know, $100 gift card at Tim Hortons means you got coffee for a little while there. So if that's what you want, $100 gift card to that. We have the N'we Jinan merch pack. So t-shirt, water bottle, N'we Jinan, maybe a couple other things. We see what we can muster up. And then the customized Vans shoe as well. So it's their online initiative where you can basically customize your own shoe on their shop. So we're super excited to kind of being upping the ante for that. But we will get into the challenge of the week now. So Peter, it's going to be on you to kind of maybe tell us what the challenge of the week is, and then we'll get it more into the process.
Cool. So yeah, my name is Peter Thomas. The challenge of the week, challenge for this week is going to be, I want you to create the word Windcarriers in graffiti style. You can do it on paper, you can do a canvas, whatever you want to do. Things I want to see are, this is a little example I did for N'we Jinan, super quick. So some of the examples I want to see, multiple colors on the inside. I had three colors here actually. I want to see some three-dimensional aspects to it. But the word Windcarriers, this one here is really simple, straight letter, nothing crazy about it. But I want you to be kind of thinking outside the box, a little bit creative. I could have made the letter look like something else, or that's what the challenge is.
Okay, there you go. There you have it, everyone. That's the Windcarriers challenge of the week here by Peter Thomas. I don't know, man. I think we did a pretty good job there, bud. Do you think that we could call it a day? Or do you want to? Pardon?
If you want to, yeah, we could, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could spend all day talking to you, bro, hearing you talk about like everything that you got going on, man, because it's all exceptional stuff. But I mean, what we could do is actually ensure that people go and give you a follow on your Instagram page here. So Peter Thomas at there you guys have it there at Thunderbird 431. You can kind of see Peter and all he's updating his IG story continuously with all the cool stuff he's got going on out of Winnipeg. Maybe do you want to talk about like, or maybe just make a few announcements for yourself, maybe your own shout outs to kind of plug yourself about like some of the projects you have coming up leading into the summer?
Yeah, so be on the lookout for some shirts potentially. The shirt machine we're getting it's called a DTG, so it'll print images right onto the t-shirt. It's not so much like screen printing, but I've been sleeping on a bunch of ideas for a long time. They might not be posted on my Instagram. I have a separate Instagram I made years ago that you got to kind of find. I'm not going to share exactly what it is, but you got to kind of follow the clues and hints to find this shirt brand, and it has to do with the whole name of the brand itself. So you can't just look for it, or you can't just see it out in the open. You got to kind of, maybe it'll find you. Who knows?
That's amazing. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Peter, for sharing your story today, a bit of your artistic process, sharing your space with us, and also for the challenge of the week. I'm super excited. I'm actually myself gonna tackle this one. I'm gonna try and do it. I'm not a visual artist, but I feel like I could do this. I feel like I got this. Yeah.
We'll give you one hint for the people still tuning in. This brand, I should say person, represents honesty. So that's a little clue. So maybe you can follow on that. It has to do with like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Peter, for coming on today, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So that was Peter Thomas, everyone. So we just want to give a big shout out to Montana as well, who came on the show before. Montana, good running from Sunchild First Nation. We're super excited. So that is the challenge of the week. You heard it from Peter Thomas. We will be posting the official challenge as well. So just to remind you what exactly it is, but it's graffiti style letters of the word Windcarriers. You can kind of stylize it as well to like, your own kind of style as well. And also embodying honesty in your approach. You heard it from Peter himself. That's what he's expecting. And so we're super excited about that. So thank you everyone again for tuning in this week. I'm going to take us out here with No Longer Broken one more time. And we just want to thank everyone for tuning in. And we'll see you all next week. Please feel free to reach out to us. Also, an important aspect too is to make sure you follow us on our Facebook, on our Instagram for the latest updates to stay fresh on all of the challenges. So our Facebook is this page, the N'we Jinan page, N'we Jinan Arts. Also on Instagram, N'we Jinan TV, N'we Jinan Arts. And anytime you are sending a submission, make sure that you are hashtagging Windcarriers Challenge. If you want more information about how to actually submit, we have our how-to guide that is also on our social media accounts as well. So if you are doing the challenge and then you're kind of like trying to remember how to actually submit, we have all the information on our social media. And also honesty is his brand, so I made a mistake there. Sorry, bud. Somebody corrected me, Peter, so we're good. So honesty is actually your brand. Hey. So without further ado, This is David Hodges signing out. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Here's No Longer Broken one last time. Have a great week, everyone.
Mothers carry and mothers cry. Ancestors pray for hope, their love will not die. Hate can be heard like lies, but our souls won't be torn this time. Be my rose, I'll be your violet. I hope you know that you helped me through all of it.
Memories, I can't express what you meant to me. Sometimes I forget, but your love's never lost. Your strength lives on in me. Family, they said forever, now a memory. Sometimes there's darkness, but this candle in my hand is yours. Together we will find the light.
I'm weak at the knees, filled with anxiety. With you I can breathe, this is all I need. It happened so suddenly, now your love is covering me. Everything with you is better.
The love I have for you is impossible to hide. Sleeping with dreams that we won't try, cause we can't. You were disloyal and I couldn't pretend. So much joy has come to an end. My eyes are tired, but love is strong. Maybe I had to leave you all alone.
Show us hope, this love will never end. We can cope through all this thick and thin. Pushing forward, growing stronger. Moving on, we are no longer broken.
I feel like a ghost in need of a soul. I breathe in the smoke to give me a flow. I needed you to cope. I don't want the light, I can't stand the hell. Don't give me false hope, I can tell. I need you to let me cope. I probably need to let you go.
I'm worried. Everything I see is falling apart. Negativity is making it hard. It's contagious, breaking us apart. But despite that, I turn to the people that fill my heart. Humor and happiness, culture that we live, my friends and family, my source, my sanity.
What's up with all the line lapping short, so why are we fighting? All these memories in my head, they are piling. I feel neglect, regret, I even try to forget. What do you expect? Give your hate a rest. We all know it's for the best.
Gotta move forward past the pain. My ancestors' blood runs through my veins. Sometimes I feel insane, like I can't stay in my own lane, swerving in the rain. But if you got nothing to lose, you still got something to gain.
It's hard to see my people depleting and fleeting, innocent lives feeling so defeated. I'm scared for my future, I'm scared for the youth. I'm terrified of the hidden truth in our nation. My ancestors fought for salvation.
N'we Jinan.
Show us hope, this love will never end. We can cope through all this thick and thin. Pushing forward, growing stronger. Moving on, we are no longer broken.
I wanna be where